to the killing themselves off.
Exactly.
Wow.
You got a bunch of dudes running around in China right now with no women, no jobs. You got 30%.
Sure, because they killed the girls. They killed the women, didn't they?
Right. Who are they gonna marry?
Nobody.
Yeah. Nope. Fang ain't getting no bang bang. Okay, so
I like that.
I mean, it's
I like that.
yeah, Eric Swalwell and his Fang.
Eric.
But it's just it's short-sighted. They took care of a problem that they're having with an overwhelming population increase. They thought this was the way to stem it, but now they don't have cousins. They don't have family networks, and so
And they were very family oriented.
right, and so that's all left.
That was the thing that gave them any health, really.
Well, that's what's left Chinese culture now, and so now you got the state is strictly all they have for their god. They don't have family allegiances. Now it's just to the state. And a lot of them are really not happy with that, but it's all they've got.
Right. It's that or nothing. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Either going to be.
It's either that or you're totally ostracized, pariah,
They showed that,
and then you got nobody.
There was a Chinese thing where they showed that these people, even the ones that were going along with the killing of the girls, didn't like it. But if they didn't do it, they were out.
Right.
They were out of it.
And India and Pakistan are looking on the same path right now.
Is they're limiting children? I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and they're doing elective abortions because they want to keep the male babies and not the female.
Yeah. So the systemic murder of this is nothing. This is more of a political move. Nobody died in this thing.
If something like this was going on, it was a power adjustment.
But the real killing fields.
Right, and they're looking at us, and maybe COVID was one of those.
They're going to come
attempts to drop the population.
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, with Rocco, he'd have died. If it wasn't for divine intervention, he'd have died.
Well, and a lot of people.
And I just married him, and there would be no kids. I got 2 grandkids. There wouldn't be any grandkids. He'd have been dead.
Yeah, but they didn't care. It was indiscriminate. They just wanted to drop the numbers. And so, in COVID, a lot of the stuff that killed people in COVID was the blatant lie about they had a vaccine.
But they didn't?
It's not a vaccine. It never was a vaccine.
Are you sure of that? You sure that vaccine didn't work? I just ask it as a rhetorical.
It did not, and they proved that.
Okay.
So
because a lot of people say, "Oh no, the vaccine."
It never was a vaccine. You want a vaccine? Try polio.
That was a real vaccine.
That's a vaccine.
Right.
When you take that vaccine, you will not get polio. You will not transmit polio.
Let me ask you this, Larry. Do they have the capacity to make a real vaccine against COVID?
They might, but they couldn't have done it in a year.
Okay.
There was no way they could have. And they knocked that thing up. It was a therapeutic.
Okay.
It was like taking a Tylenol.
Do they have more lethal things like COVID coming our way?
Oh, yeah. There's lots of stuff they could throw at us. There's lots of stuff that's worse than COVID. They could throw stuff at us that would make our blood vessels just explode.
Oh God.
They could do things. Everyone would have, everyone would die of a seizure or die of
sure
brain aneurysms.
Sure. Right. Introduce the right microbe.
And some things. And who knows if we haven't been naturalized to be predisposed to accepting this. They were doing the chemtrails and stuff like this over the country. Who knows what was being
done. Right.
Right. But something was going on with those chemtrails and the interlocking
I think
with the grid that was going on.
I believe it's so. And even
that was back in the 90s.
Back in the 90s, those chemtrails. No, I think you're right because I think some of these soldiers that got sick, that it's mandatory for them to take whatever is issued as far as shots.
Well, some did, and they got run out.
Right, and I wonder if those shots predispose them to the ferocity of COVID, that if they didn't have that predisposed shot, that they would have been able to fight it. But did they enter into
90% of the population would have gotten a bad case of the flu or a cold and recovered.
That'd have been it.
Right. But if you were morbidly obese, had other hypertension problems, other pre-existing conditions, you were going to get taken out. Just like people get taken out with the flu every year.
Okay.
People with these same conditions die from the flu.
Yeah. Did you get COVID?
I've had COVID a bunch of times.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm still here. So
Yeah, well, I mean,
you're describing a world that that they could intervene and kill large numbers of people without us even recognizing who's doing the murdering. I mean,
right.
This is frightening. It goes beyond any. I mean,
and what if they were to release some sort of agent into the world and they only have a limited amount of antitoxin?
It ain't going to be for
well,
us.
They'll keep it for them,
Right,
and their families and their hideaways. But this is the arrogance and the hubris of what's going on in the world. And it's not the Elon Musks that are doing it. It's the George Soros types and whatnot that are looking to destroy and break down, the civilization and the work that's going on.
Yeah.
They don't want to see this. They don't want to see men lifted up. They think that there's a more of a nihilist attitude about it, that we have to shut it down to save it. And other people say we have to build it to make it. So which is the way to go? We got some people who are saying we need to go and pioneer and, populate the moon, Mars, other places like that. That's your Elon Musk's trying to do those things.
The problem is we're going to bring fractured humanity to Mars. We'll screw that up.
We may very well, but we're already fractured. There's just a certain amount, like the remnant, that can still, bring sanity to things. And that's what we got to hope for with, the call to purity, is that some people will still have that, and they'll be so attractive as far as their confidence and their ability to navigate in this broken world, that they will attract and draw other people to them. And that's, I think, the best way to get people to follow you in your faith march, is to not be the overbearing, like, Catholic, who's going to fall apart, at every little thing, but the stronger, well-rounded, put-together individual who's got, their faith life put together, they've got their physical life put together.
Defend the faith, defend their families.
Exactly.
Teach them properly, bring them to God, look for the purity
show them how to survive.
So maybe we can give God more of a reason to intervene for a remnant that is willing to suffer and to unite.
Well, the remnant will suffer too, and they're gonna suffer their losses as well. But
so we're not only does humanity need to put into action what they propose in terms of their love for God, neighbor, all the rest of it, and their faith, but God's going to have to help with this thing, because this thing, you talk about global destruction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a matter of just having an army come in. I mean, if you can release carnage through,
and we talked about it before, we're very, very fragile organisms. It doesn't take much. I mean, a little teensy bit of fentanyl.
kill you.
Right. They got cops dying on the way back to their squad cars.
Do they really? They touched it?
Well, the people that get pulled over will give them a tainted license or something like that to poison it, and then they're touching their license, and the cops are going back not aware, but before they get maybe 30 steps from the vehicle, they're down.
Are they gloving up now with that, or?
I think they are.
Jesus.
Even more so, but they can inhale it. They can do.
Well, no wonder the president wore on fentanyl. And no wonder he was so concerned about that coming into the country.
But it could be anything. I mean, if the people want to do bad, they're going to find a way.
They'll find it anyways. You're saying
right?
They're going to do it. Yeah. So even that in itself could be a small town. They could wipe out a small town if they start painting it with fentanyl. I mean,
they've got enough fentanyl comes in one little box can wipe out 2 million people.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in trouble.
Well, we're very vulnerable to a lot of things, but the only thing that really keeps us from falling into a total state of disrepair is to have awareness of the public and the individuals. Now more than ever, if you see something, you got to say something.
Right.
And you have to not take no for an answer all the time.
So
but
this is where
I'm not saying to get crazy about
no, you
stuff.
overcome the fear that you just are mute.
Be responsible.
Right.
Be responsible. Say, hey, look, this doesn't fit here. Be more like my dog, who's a shepherd. She'll bark at things that really don't need to be barked at, but she's barking at it because it's out of place. Something's doesn't belong there.
Right.
That's not normal. That's what shepherd dogs do. They look for things that don't fit, and then they react to it. If anything else fits, they're like, cool, no problem. But if something's out of place, you got to do something. This could be, and even in my instance, a man in a dress, trying to pose as a woman
Right.
to.
No, you confronted him at the store. You should look like that. I think you confronted somebody that
Well, I've done it at Costco. I got kicked out.
Costco kicked you out. Did they really? God love you.
Because I said, hey, dude, to this guy who was wearing a dress.
Was he a Costco employee?
Yeah, he was the checkout. He was the checkout dude.
Dear God.
Oh yeah, and everyone was like uncomfortable with the whole thing, and I'm like, I go, hey, dude, here you go, and that's a lady. I said, yeah, right. That's what I said. Yeah, right.
Not a very good-looking lady.
Oh no, no.
If you're gonna do it,
no.
fool the guy, right?
No. This dude looked like he just came off the bowling lane or something.
Oh,
he was
geez.
like, he was pretty hard, but.
Yeah, because
he was confused. You could tell that this was a guy who was
a confused boy.
was having a problem,
Yeah.
and he wasn't even close to being pretty. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you can present yourself as a hot chick and maybe convince me,
yeah, right.
It might be one of these Thailand things, but who knows?
Yeah, right. No, but don't come on as like a.
Yeah, come on, man. Archie Bunker looked like more of a woman than you.
Oh, geez.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's pathetic. Well, the.
I'm sorry, but mental illness is an issue.
Yeah, and you got to call it what it is. You can't applaud it.
And I wasn't mean to him. I just said, hey, dude,
And it took offense.
Oh, yeah. And then I got the packer or whatever, like, jumped on me. That's a lady. I go, yeah, right.
Did they say that's a lady? Assholes.
I go, yeah, right.
Well, folks, we got issues.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them.
we bring up these things, but we got to open our mouths. We have to see things in reality. We can't applaud and encourage, inversion and mental illness, and we certainly can't put up with Islamic forced Shia. What was it called? Shia law or
Sharia law.
Sharia law, and
coming to a city near you.
Yeah, we better wake up, and do what we're supposed to do as mothers and fathers and people of faith and people of knowledge. We're not going to stand in a make believe world. There is no security when you give up the freedom of normalcy and of what's right and what's even more so decisions that are positive and more pure and in the roads that they lead us to. But hate to end on this note, but but this is the reality that we live in, and the best way to counter it is Christ is he's the way, the truth, and the light.
The life, right? So, but we have to get our Protestant friends on board with that, which they are. Our Muslim friends, who, like I say, are the first victims of Islam.
That's a good point.
And I think that what they need is just to be encouraged to look at what's going on and the reasoning that's with it. Don't need to get into a fight. No one needs to be hurting anybody. But what we do need to be doing is not going along with this silly notion that to the same God.
Absolutely.
When it's not true at all. Did you see what they did in India the other day?
No.
They got this is gross. Hindus, have the whole cow thing.
The cow.
Right.
They don't eat them. They allow them to shit on the streets. Yeah.
Well, what do they do with all that? They gather it up. Okay, so they gathered up all the poo. And then they have one festival a year.
No, don't tell me.
Oh, what do they do with the poo? They throw it at each other, and they cover each other in the cow poo.
You mean in the 21st century?
In 2025, yeah, it was just the other day. And they got people, the guys stripped down to their loincloths, and they just have this shit fight. And they're throwing cow patties at each other and smacking them in the head and right in the face. And there's just cow
a
poop.
ritual?
Yeah.
So
They think it's a cleansing thing. It's making them closer to God.
That's crazy.
It's a real thing.
Well, you can get sick with doing that. I mean, microbes and.
I guess.
Well,
I haven't tried it, but hey,
it was.
I'm not down for this one. I'd rather do the tomato thing over in Italy than the cow shit.
That's all right. Tomato thing. It's what do they do in Italy with the tomato thing?
They take a cart of tomatoes down through the city and they throw all the tomatoes at the people on the street, covering them all with tomatoes. So people are wearing raincoats and getting covered with these ripe tomatoes.
At least it's not.
It's not picante sauce.
Cow shit. That's it.
Well, but in India they got cartloads of cow shit going down the road. Everyone's covered in poo.
There was a Dr. William Wainless that he was the Mother Teresa before Mother Teresa. Was a Protestant man that got his training out of New York University, and at that time they did everything, cataracts, whatever. They did. One doctor who does everything, and he went to India in 1895, 98 or something, and he said that they put him in charge of a pandemic that went on, and the pandemic is that the Indian people living in these huts had all their animals that could walk around their living space, and they're urinating, pissing, and defecating. And then there was also, like, they would allow rats to run around. And so Wainless, they put him in charge. He goes, the biggest problem we had is that you can't have these animals urinating because you're getting these diseases. And then the same thing with the rats. You have to clean this. So he had to educate these people that your biggest problem is you're not clean.
No sanitation.
Sanitation. And this is, 130 years ago, and they haven't learned anything?
Well,
how about these doctors and these
they put on loincloths.
Larry, how about these doctors in these institutes? They know that. They don't tell these people you can't put shit on each other. You can't. Not really. I mean, did
you ever watch Monty Python?
Very little.
Okay,
but I know his humor.
Well, there was one. There was Monty Python, and they had this one where they were gathering up all of the dead during the plague, and all like that. And
I can see it.
So they're running around trying to gather them up. And there was this one. He says, well. The one guy, they're picking him up, and he goes, "Well, I'm not dead yet." It says, they're going along, "Bring out your dead, bring out your dead." And they're lifting this one guy, "I'm not dead yet." "Well, you look like it." And then there was another one. They said, well, gather everybody up, but leave the king. Don't touch the king. They go, how will we know which one's the king? He says, he's the one that ain't got shit on him. He's the one that's clean. Everyone else would be
dirty
pagans or dirty street people. How do we know which one's the king? Well, he's the one that ain't got shit on him.
That's
and so
English
this
humor.
is like English humor meets with the Indian rituals, the Christian. It was just one of the grossest things I've ever seen. But it's real, and apparently they do it every year.
Well,
and these guys are having a great time.
They're happy about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys got nothing, but they're happy. The world could learn a little bit from having a little shit thrown at them.
I wonder what level of poor these people are. Are they apparently not?
They look like they were down at the bottom. They look like they look like they were in one of these like shanty towns. I mean, it looked like there was a lot of cardboard.
Somebody was saying there were areas Mother Teresa wouldn't go into. It was so backward and.
Yeah, there is some problems in some of these areas because they refuse to lift themselves out of it.
Yeah.
It's their way of life.
Right.
And it's how they understand
tribal
it. And they've got their ranking system and they've got all that. Right. You're not going to change that. So some people don't want to be helped.
That's why they have a strict caste system then, is because the people actually fit into those things.
You have agreements. Social agreements. You were raised that way. there's something to that.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, we got a lot covered today. We kind of meandered around a little bit, so we'll see if we can't make this into something for you folks. But if you got any questions, please hit the comments section, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it is important. It helps us with maintaining our presence on these platforms here. We get a lot of pushback for some of our topics, but that's my problem, not yours. So in the meantime, I love you. He loves you.
We'll see you again.
And we'll be back.